Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to a guest who is a fellow author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. Happy Ekadashi also to everyone, and I hope the preparations for Diwali are on in full swing at your house. Hello, Kaveri. Thank you for joining. We have our guest here. I'm just going to invite her. Let's wait for a few more people to join. I'm really excited about today's session. One of the major reasons is that the person I'm going to talk to is a debut author, and she has written a very interesting short story which I really enjoyed. It has elements of social messages also, which I enjoyed the most about the story, and I'm really excited to talk to her about the book, how she went about writing it, what was her experience, and everything related to her experience in the field of writing and publishing. Hello, Devansh. Thank you for joining. How is the Diwali preparation going for everyone? And it's already around 6 in India, so I guess people must have started putting up diyas. Hello, Mona Verma. Thank you for joining. So happy to have you here. Once again, happy Ekadashi to everyone, and we'll begin today's episode in a while for a few more people to join us. Hello, Kaveri. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How about you?
All good, all good. Happy Ekadashi to you.
Thank you. Wishes to you too. And a big hello to everyone who has joined.
Yes, always a pleasure to hear you. Thank you so much, Mona. It's always a pleasure to have you with us also. So I was just telling everyone that I have read your debut book and I really enjoyed it. Could you tell us in your words what's the book all about?
So, yes, to begin with, it's a very simple story. It's a short story. It's hardly 30 to 40 minutes read, maximum 1 hour with maybe intermittent breaks. We readers are not so much lucky to get a continuous time of good reading. बहुत सारी चीजें बीच में हो जाती हैं. And yes, and I'm not a very gender centric person where I kind of in my stories I don't generally dominate one gender over the other. So I do believe in both the genders are very important for the nature as well. So the male protagonist and the female protagonist, Viraj and Raina, respectively, they have their own identity, individuality in my entire story. I have given both the perspective, and parallelly, I have given my own opinion on the same whatever I am mentioning over there. Uh, and also with this on the same track, I have questioned some very illogical societal norms, that patriarchal norms that we have in our Indian society, and I'm sure it's there globally. But then, of course, I have to admit that it's there more in India. Still, we are yet to get in there where we see the change. Slowly, we will be there. But then, yes, I have questioned, and I was very glad to receive the feedback that many of them who have reviewed my book, they could relate to one or maybe more than one sections of the book. Someone's aunt story, someone's best friend story, someone's somebody people some people around them, they could see मेरे दोस्त ने ऐसा बताया था और मेरी बुआ के साथ ऐसा हुआ था, so and so yes, it was quite relatable, I then felt. And I'll be very open. When I finished off the story and I felt I had the gut feeling that I can pitch in to the publisher, because I'm more into traditional publishing. I mean, मेरा एक मीटर वो एक पॉइंटर उधर मुड़ जाता है. So yes, there was a gut feeling that I have to show this to the world, not for any monetary gains, but the message that I intend to put through my story in society. And that is what my platform also, literary platform, pretty much everything also aims for the same. So to contribute something through your work, be it anything. So that is what I want to do it through my writing, through any kind of thing that I do. So that was the whole intention of writing the book, and also whatever I do now and I will be doing in the future, everything will revolve around something to contribute in the society. That's it.
That's so wonderful to hear. And the point that you made about the story being relatable to the readers, I want to personally point out. I have also mentioned it in the story. What I really liked
Hmm.
about the story is in between the fiction, you have put in your own thoughts and inputs about, what kind of needs to change about that particular norm in the society, why it is wrong and why it needs to change. Those are the bits that I really liked about the story.
Thank you. Thank you.
On that
Okay.
note, I would like for you to read out a few passages from the story, if that is possible.
Okay. Okay. Can if you would tell me anything specific or anything that I can,
No, no, anything you feel like. I personally would like a passage where your personal input is also coming in, but then you can decide.
Mhm. All right. Okay. So quickly, probably we can continue discussing while I get onto that page, because this
Yes.
is my device is actually is getting charged right now. So
Yes. In the meanwhile, that you look for the pages, I have my very first question for you. After reading the book, I was
yes.
very curious to know what brought about this story and how you went about your publishing experience. So, because this is your first book, I want to understand from you because I also wrote my first book a few years back, and it was not like it was kind of a surprising thing for me, a few of the things which you only
Hmm.
understand after you become a published author. So for you, what was that particular thing that was like a shock to you? Like, ये तो नहीं सोचा था यार कि publish होने के बाद ऐसा भी होता है. So what was that?
Okay.
And what was
Okay.
also the most rewarding part about it?
Rewarding thing is for the fact that my book is out there in the Indian writing and reading market. That is more than enough for me, because I never thought, because I have been writing columns for various web portals since 2015.
Hmm.
That was the official beginning. And post that, I used to write stories, but then I think just publishing ke naam pe you cannot publish anything.
Right, right.
I mean, yeah, and through that, your writing should give a very strong message out there to everyone who's reading. So I was like, until unless I have that gut feeling, ki yes, I can pitch this to a publisher to get it published traditionally. I mean, for this short story to get published traditionally, it took almost 10 months in the process.
Hmm.
So first thing, I was shocked to know that I am so patient. I have become so patient. First thing. And rest of the things, yes, I think, I've been interviewing authors, publishers, writers, editors. And during the process, my own research and development, it kind of brought me to certain facts. One thing was like nothing shocking, but in during my interview and everything, I kind of learned that each and everything works for every individual very differently.
Hmm.
Your tips cannot work for me at times. My suggestions may not
Right.
work for you. So it was one thing to know. Only shocking things at personal front was that I have become so patient. I wanted to pat my back, and that thing. So and everything was rewarding. Writing is a therapy, and it gives
Right.
you so much mental peace. You can express so much through your words. You can improve your vocabulary. And for the fact that I can talk to Mansi like this, we can discuss. So isn't it all very nice
Right.
things that are happening? So yes.
Uh, that brings me to my next question because
Yeah.
my own few stories are like that, and I always have a hesitance when I'm writing such a story. Your story has a kind of an open ending, right?
Hmm.
So, what was your thought process about writing such a story, and also what are the risks involved, and what are the pros and cons of writing such a story?
All right. So I think I did not actually plan it, whether it would have an open ending or not. But I definitely feel that it has an open question
Hmm.
that, I'm just putting a question to every reader who's a part of the society is kind of agreeing with what I'm saying and asking them whether it is really fair enough or doing justice to the people whom we question on our own, um, our own thoughts which are not at all validated. We are just thinking on our level. That's something called as confirmation bias in the field of
Hmm.
psychology. हम जो सोचते हैं, we want to confirm that. And just to confirm that, we bring in our own facts, even if they are myths, kind of thing. So
Right.
the story may not have a part two. Honestly, the plot did not have that kind of essence. And if I
Hmm.
even try to drag in a part two or bring in some extension to it, it will not do justice to the
Yeah,
entire story.
it
The story
loses the
will
charm. I
lose the
also
essence.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it was all depends upon the plot, whether you to have, open ending or not. But it is all, and you cannot put your thoughts into the reader's mind कि यही होता है, ऐसा
हाँ,
ही होना चाहिए.
हम्म,
You have to leave certain things to the
yeah.
to the reader's perspective as well. So writing was my perspective. Now reading and giving the feedback is the reader's perspective. This is what I feel.
That's such a wonderful way to look at it. I always have a kind of hesitance when I'm writing open-ended stories. But having said that, I do love writing them because then it's up to the audience to figure out what happened at the end. So that's kind of the most rewarding for me. Have you found the
Okay.
passage? Let's go about you reading a few of the passages from the book. Now that we've talked
Okay.
so much, we have Parini here.
Hmm.
She's saying, "Hey guys," and to your answer about my question that writing is rewarding, she's saying, "Except for thesis writing."
Hi, Parini. First of all, I would give you a one big thappad with a lot of love because you haven't been in touch with me since a very long time. And I missed our discussions. And she's the connecting link between Mansi and me, which we got to know just
Yeah,
45 minutes back.
right.
Mansi, कहाँ मिले और क्या?
And it was actually Parini who told me that we have really actually met in the real world. This is not the first. This is the. I thought virtual meeting he forgot first. When she was like, "No, you have met this person." I was, yeah, have I?
The moment I saw your picture, I was like, कहीं देखा है. But then how cliched and how chichori I would sound. आपको कहीं
नहीं,
देखा है.
आपको
Even
पहले
if
भी
you
देखा.
and for the fact that now you are in Netherlands and I'm at Ahmedabad, and it's like Manali, आपको
And
कहीं
we met in
देखा है.
Udaipur.
I mean,
Oh, वो भी हम उदयपुर में मिले थे. Not even there is no common turf that we met.
5 minutes of meeting, just hi and hello. That's it. Remember, it was just when I was making an exit and you were entering into Udaipur
Yes.
Palace.
Yes.
That was the moment.
We have Shia CC. She's saying, "Hey Kaveri, hey Manali, thank you." And we have somebody saying, "Thesis writing is
Shilpa.
rewarding too. You get a degree, right?" I have no experience on that. Maybe Kaveri and Parini can say something on that.
Yeah, we know the drill. And there's my dear friend who has joined us all the way from Mumbai. She's Shilpa. She says, hello, Manali. Hello, Shilpa. Hi, Shilpa.
Hello.
Love you loads.
We also have
And
Nileshri.
hi,
Thank you,
Nidhi.
Nileshri. Nileshri is also an author and she is a regular.
I interviewed her, babes.
Wow, we have a lot of common friends, it seems. So
Common sense.
I was just
See,
telling
being
Parini.
being a writer, Manali, this is also very, very rewarding.
Okay,
We know
we
so many
have.
people.
Yeah, and I was just telling Parini when she pointed out that we have actually met each other and we know each other verbally through that common source of Parini. She is, I told her, fate works in mysterious ways. Before you could tell me about one of your contacts being an author and me reaching out, I was able to read her book and reach out to her in another way.
Exactly, exactly. परिणी तो बाद में आई पिक्चर में.
Parini is saying,
But,
थप्पड़ से डर नहीं लगता मैम, कावेरी से लगता है.
naughty girl. I had a wonderful time with her when she was doing her post graduation, and I was just starting with my PhD. And I mean, sometimes I could connect with her instantly, and we had some lovely discussions out there, interview now and then. So it was nice. Yes, I do miss that. That's why I'm saying कि चलो वापस से reconnect करते हैं.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I
Yes.
will read one of the quotes that I wrote, or maybe a short poem, maybe. This is when my male and the female leads of the story, Viraj and Raina, they kind of, reunite after certain gap. When they looked at each other, the hunger in their eyes was evident. The distance had made them realize how much they had longed for each other. Soon they danced together in the rhythm of their honey-coated moans.
So beautiful. It conveys so much in such a few words. Very nice. In fact, I have put it in my review also that these little poems and snippets and your own thoughts that you have put in between the story, the fictional story, those are my favorite bits.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. So I think we should also talk about your book, no? Manali. So
Yes.
nice. And for when I kind of downloaded the book and everything, and I 41 poems, if I'm not right.
45.
Sorry if I'm right. 41, 45.
45.
Okay. And I kind of read it in 2.5 to 3 hours
Wow.
with
Okay.
chota break,
Huh.
because I teach also. So I was in my school, I had my classes and everything. So whenever I used to have my free period, I went through your poems. So it was nice. And yes, I have a list. See,
Oh
I
wow.
have to talk about all.
Oh wow.
To begin with, Manali, the page start the actually the whole write up starts with a lovely illustration with a girl looking outside the window. I liked it so much, and it's the moment. See, it has to be a treat for a reader's eye.
Yes.
At the moment I opened this white kind of next page, I was like, and then I zoomed it. I read it, the whole thing which was written, you know, and the first poem which was there, just a call away, and which kind of describes one's feeling at different phases of life, like age, and we are in different phases. So I really like that. Then you have also, mentioned about it's not only the women that go through hurt, the pain and the healing. It is also the boy, a man that also, he also goes through that. So that poem is the lost identity, which kind of expressed well. And I already told you one of many of my favorites, so I'm just saying it here again. And then there was home.
Yeah,
So
that's my
yeah,
favorite also. I enjoyed writing it so much because I was thinking of all those things that make me feel like home. It's not just a physical thing that you consider a home. It's always
hmm,
something like whatever makes you feel happy, you feel at home.
yeah, yeah. And there's one more, parallel to it, homecoming.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this is something that you have written about our soldiers. They are there at the border securing us. That's why we could do this live. So it's a kind of hats off to them.
Yes,
And
definitely.
but I just wanted to maybe read little more few lines about that. Something in the poem more. I really liked it. So मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था खत्म हो गई. I wanted to read more. It was like that. So maybe in your next we can read big one on
Definitely.
that.
In fact, the poem is actually inspired from a short story that I wrote in my previous book. Uh, my previous book, it's a Christmas special anthology where I have written short
Wow.
stories and poems related to Christmas and New Year. In
Yeah.
one story, one of the soldiers is coming back home to celebrate the New Year after many years, and the backdrop is that he had to leave his wife on the next day after their wedding. So they are meeting after the wedding after 5 years. So that's the story, and that kind of inspired this poem.
Oh God, मैं तो plot सुन के ही I'm kind of like, I will be crying. I would be crying if I start reading that. All this, ये सब बहुत ज़्यादा emotionally मुझे touch कर जाता है. Okay, and then there's another poem was there, Hello Old Friend. And I was into that thinking कि ये दो दोस्तों के बारे में हो सकता है, long lost दोस्त, and they are not in touch in current scenario, modern times, etc. But who would think that this is about two things that is there within us only? Many of us, they have it, anxiety, and another one is self-confidence. दो दोस्त, antagonists of each other, but then that is there naturally within in all of us. We just don't acknowledge it sometimes that we do have anxiety. So it is, also the last line in that was, is doing just a tad better lately. The later, you're talking about self-confidence here. And to referring to that, you mentioned it's doing just a tad better lately. And I'm like, wow, that means the person has won over the anxiety. So this is something very nice.
Now,
Yeah.
Parini's message, she's saying, I got to leave, but we'll definitely get in touch with you, ma'am. Love you both. Love you too, Parini. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yes, we also had somebody else mentioning about your notes. I think it was Shilpa who said, I love those notes, Kaveri. When you were showing the notes that you
Oh.
made about my book.
And I tell you, Manali, she's such a dear friend. We are virtual friends since almost 5 years now. We haven't met,
Wow.
but we are updated about each other's life. What's going on?
Yeah. It's such a wonderful thing because a lot of us have this preconceived notions that the internet and the virtual world is not trustworthy. But I have made some fabulous friends online and such great connections. So I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and for the fact that we have also not met, we just only connected over the Instagram, and you came up with this idea of this. I didn't know that such things existed also unless until I saw your page, you know. So, you had sent me those links, and I'm like, okay, let me see what it is. How does this work? And then so this is the power of social media if it is
Yes.
used appropriately. So this
Yes.
is one example, guys.
Meaningful friendships and connections.
Hmm. Shilpa is saying it's
It's
about
about
time we meet
timing
now.
meeting.
Hanji, Shilpa keeping fingers crossed. This she's one ardent reader, Baba. सब पढ़ती है Manali. She reads
Wow,
everything, every
that's
poem. She will
amazing.
not leave any story.
Wow, that's
So बहुत
amazing.
someone has to be a reader. तो इनके जैसा बनना चाहिए. Oh my God.
Thank you, Shilpa. You are
Okay.
motivating me
So
to
to
read more.
Yeah, so I'll just finish because I feel that more than a written review or telling you over a message how much I have liked the poems or maybe giving my thoughts on any of those, I think that live में ज़्यादा better होता है because
Um,
it is not fake and it is kind of very open, it is
yes,
very transparent.
very true. Yeah.
So actually that I feel that I should do that. Um, Also the this thing, breaking the norms, where you are talking about a particular guilt,
Hmm.
and how nicely you have decoded each and every letter, given, something that starts about being guilty from the starting letter GUILTY. So
Yeah.
it says everything. जरूरी नहीं है कि कोई poem बहुत बड़ी रहे तो ही बहुत deep होती है. Such poems are also like done. You are done and dusted with that guilty thing. खत्म.
Thank
So
you.
I like those ideas. In fact, moments of joy is something that you have written from A to Z, A, B,
Yes.
C, D, E, F. And follow, unfollow is exactly the reverse of it. Z to A. And I was like, these patterns are very unique, Manali. I think this
Thank
is
you.
what a writer, should have it in the writing. And this is what I have learned after reading the poems की जरूरी नहीं कि बहुत ज्यादा हाई-फाई इंग्लिश रहे. I mean, मेरे को तो कभी-कभी a lot many words go bouncer only because I have very Indian kind of English with simple words and everything. So even with simple English and lovely, powerful words, we can come up something like moments of joy and follow and follow.
Thank you. I am so happy you said that because मुझे बहुत सारे लोग ये कहते हैं कि हम पढ़ते इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि हमें इंग्लिश समझ में नहीं आती इतनी सच हैवी वर्ड्स वी डोंट कॉम्प्रिहेंड सो वी शाई अवे फ्रॉम रीडिंग इंग्लिश बुक्स और इंग्लिश स्टोरीज और इंग्लिश पोएम्स so this is kind
Yeah.
of a message to everyone that something can be written in a very good way using simple language and simple words also.
Hmm. True. Sorry, I just throat
It's
got
okay.
dry
I'm also
because
feeling a little guilty. Yeah.
morning I take, yeah. The morning now I'm like kind of teaching kids all right from 6 to 9, and they were all in Diwali mood today, just
Yeah.
shouting and enjoying and total festive mood था उनका.
Understandable. Okay, Kaveri, I have a few rapid fire questions for you. If you would like to, are you ready?
Okay. Acha, what I was saying that
Huh.
let me discuss couple of questions with you.
Huh?
Then probably we'll switch on to rapid fire and then
Okay.
taking turns too.
Okay.
Okay. So do you think that there are so many books out there in the Indian market,
Hmm.
and is there any particular strategy that works in Indian market for the books to sell? or to probably have that kind of best-selling tag. So, your thoughts on that?
See, what I feel is that it's always a combination of online and offline, strategies.
Mm.
You can't rely on just one medium to promote your any kind of work, be it writing or
Hmm.
anything else. Having said that, I have personally used online promotions more than offline, but you
Okay.
cannot ignore one completely. Like एक पे पूरा completely rely नहीं कर सकते हो because you have to reach newer audiences, right? आपके
Hmm.
खुद के सर्कल में कितने 50 100 उससे ज्यादा कितने लोग होंगे उससे बाहर भी तो जाना है
Yeah.
so that is only possible if you use online and offline together in a very good way. There are many
Yeah.
literary agencies who can help you do that. And if you are somebody who is like an enthused who loves social media, exploring social media,
Hmm.
trying to understand how it works, it's quite easy if you spend some time every day to understand it, learn it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's absolutely right. So I think that social media these days is very powerful, and also it also depends how much one is active on their own account
हाँ,
itself.
consistency भी बहुत important. You have to keep showing up. Yeah.
Consistency. So these days, what is happening that somebody will go in hibernation, then all of a sudden they bring their new product or maybe a new book and they become active and you
Hmm.
start receiving their messages. So half of the time people are pissed off. इतने दिन तो हाय नहीं बोला था और अभी एकदम से
Exactly.
book की link आ गई. So that is a few things that really sometimes put me off. So I think
Also,
one has
another
to be,
thing, one more thing that I want to add. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
yeah,
But
yeah,
one
that's
more
okay.
thing I want to add to that bit is you have to offer content other than your books or whatever your main product is. Also, you can't just keep talking about the same thing. You have to provide multiple types of content in order to make people remember you, make people come back to you, make people follow you. तुम सिर्फ अपनी बुक्स की बात करोगे तो कोई किसी को इम्प्रेस नहीं होगा. You have to talk about different kinds of content that you are doing or any other work that you are doing.
Okay, okay.
सिर्फ
So
अपनी बुक्स
am I
की बात
audible?
करोगे तो हाँ.
All right, all right. So, okay, I think I have to put on my earphones because I just got a call and the volume has reduced. I don't know, this is some technical thing happens. 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
That I can hear you
Shilpa is
properly.
saying keeping the readers engaged. Yes, Shilpa, that's very important. You have to keep your audience engaged and make sure they don't forget you. Make sure you don't become irrelevant.
Yeah, correct, correct. Oh my goodness. So, okay, and the Avid Reader Award goes to Shilpa. But so, okay, I think yes, now I can hear you because there's a problem in my device. If some Insta Live is going on and someone has called, and then when I decline the call, that's it. I lose the
हाँ,
guest
वॉल्यूम कम हो जाता है. Yes.
audio.
हाँ.
Volume kam ho jata. So I don't know how to revive it because I didn't want to break the flow of the conversation. So I thought better I will put the
Yeah.
headphones. Uh, so one more thing, now of course there is always this ongoing debate about um, traditional publishing and self-publishing. Okay, so both the things have their own pros and cons, and
Hello,
when
Nina.
people kind of
I'm sorry. Nina is saying hi, so I'm just going to say hi. Thank you for joining, Nina.
hi Nina, she is at Ahmedabad, an author herself.
Oh, hello.
Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, so the thing is ki what do you think ki self publication from the time it has come, has it affected the quality of the books that are there in the market, or it is just there and traditional publishing is also just there, it has not affected? So what are your thoughts on that?
So one of the biggest advantages of self-publishing I see is that it has given opportunities to a lot of new authors. It has become
Hmm.
easier to publish. Having said
Right.
that, there are many people who still don't understand the difference between self-publishing and traditional publishing. Self-publishing में भी दो type होता है. There is vanity
Hmm.
publishing where you pay somebody to get you published, and there is also a publishing where you don't have to spend even one dime in order to get published. Like there are platforms like Amazon self-publishing, like KDP. You don't have to pay anything. You take care of everything. It's very simple. You just upload the book and the book cover, and your book is live. So first
Right.
of all, this understanding has to come. उसके बाद इसका बड़ा डिसएडवांटेज ये भी है कि इतनी सारी बुक्स हो गई है that readers do not know what to pick. So it's like two sides of a coin. It has become easier to get published, but then it has also become tougher to reach out to the correct audience.
Yeah, and for the fact that I mean, I was just having a discussion with one of the very known authors, and he told me openly that self publication से कचरा काम भी बहुत ज़्यादा आता है. But I just listened to that person, and because I was still trying to understand the publishing industry, so I was like, okay, this is what. Of course, it's his opinion, but then later on, I read some books that were published traditionally, which gave me a shock that ये कैसे traditional publishing में आ गया, that kind of thing. Because few things I myself could point out in that story, something which was not being connected at all, कि ऐसा नहीं होता है करके, and I have a few circle where I discuss about such points, and they have all read the books and they all agreed to this कि ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता types. So I was just like कि ट्रेडिशनल में अगर ये भी आ सकता है भैया तो सेल्फ पब्लिकेशन में भी बहुत अच्छी बुक्स आ सकती हैं.
हाँ, तो this is what I tell everyone who's not very well versed with the publishing industry. I tell them that traditional publishing में भी अच्छी और बुरी बुक्स होती है, और सेल्फ पब्लिशिंग में भी अच्छी और बुरी बुक्स दोनों होती है. You need to understand and find out what works for you. As a reader, as a writer, as an author, whatever works for you, it's good enough. It doesn't matter how it is getting published or how it is reaching you.
Reaching at the end of the day, author को खुद ही ज़्यादा effort लगाना है for marketing.
Exactly.
Publishing house can do to certain extent, but at the end of the day, it is you who has to kind of sail the boat, push through the boat, through this storm and everything. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I think I had two really important questions for you, which we discussed very nicely, and a very nice points came from you. So yes, over to you now. Whatever you say, that will go in that way.
Yes. So the rapid fire round. My first question to you is, just a second, let me open the question. Okay. What's the best and worst part about being a multi-professional? I know you are doing a lot of other things besides being an author also. So I want to understand from you.
So it's worst part that sometimes people say कि अरे आप क्या करते हो और क्या करते हो, and for them it becomes very tough to kind of pinpoint on one thing that okay, many they think this could be jack of all trades, master of all. Sometimes they think that maybe master of none. So I don't care about that, but it is all about realizing your own forte. Strong forte that and then going ahead, and then by God's grace, if you realize that you have multiple strengths, then I think each one of it should be the priority. But whatever you do it very seriously and in a more professional and structured way.
Yes.
Then there's no negatives of being a multiple professional.
Yeah, very well answered. And whatever makes you happy, if you have the capability to do it, why not do it? I mean,
because it has to be planned properly, not just हाँ मैं ये भी ना यो भी, because if you keep your foot on too many boats, then you're surely going to fall.
Yes.
So you have to balance and then take one strength at a time, go for that, complete the task, then take the next one.
Very well said, Kaveri. Moving on to the next question. The last thing you ate is a word in the title of your next story. What will the title be?
Kaju roll.
Oh, total Diwali vibe. Okay. So what will the title be?
Kaju roll with Kaveri.
Oh, nice. That would be interesting. I want to read the story. Please write it.
Last thing, yeah, I ate that. Then I had my coffee. So I drank coffee, but I ate kaju roll before that. So it's
yeah. Okay, the one.
So imagine if it was coffee with Kaveri, तो कितना बड़ा issue हो जाता.
Oh, right. फिर भी, I think it will be fun. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I feel that if somebody is copying us or we are copying somebody, it's a compliment to them.
Yeah. No, this would be surely original. So actually, I wanted to name pretty much everything as cutting chai with Kaveri, cutting with Kaveri. But then if I spell it in, Kutting, then if an Indian reads it, then it would have been something else. And I just don't want to go there only. So, and I cannot write Cutting. It's like cutting with Kaveri. So I didn't want to have that cut thing there. So it's just pretty much everything.
Yeah. Nina is saying Kaju is better now, and I think she also said, I told have been to kachra. It's a very impolite word. Yes, it's very impolite. You shouldn't call anybody's work kachra. Yeah.
Extra, yeah.
Okay. A song or a movie title that describes your life the best.
Okay. Queen?
Nice. Good one. Okay, the one last one is a little tricky because I wanted
Yeah.
to make it a little fun. So, being a mother, being a wife, or being a working woman, what's more challenging?
Being a working woman, being a mother,
And being a
and
wife.
being a wife. So, in all these roles, I would say being myself is very challenging because at times you have to think from the mother's point of view, at times you have to think from the wife point of view, and at times you have to think like a daughter-in-law, and so many other things, a working woman. I think I always, now I have learned that I have to think from my own self, for my own self. Then only I will be able to do justice to all these roles.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because at times like there is homework for my kid, I'm not in mood just to sit with him and do this. So only once I tell him that okay, aaj apne aap dekh lo, thoda sa written work hai, and I'm on my own, I'm eating or reading something and doing something. So I have my own days. So I think what difficult sometimes becomes is being your own self, and I'm learning, and I think I'm getting just there. Yeah.
Shilpa is really impressed by your answer. She's saying wow and then wow, Kaveri.
आपको वर्चुअल फ्लाइंग किस मैंने उस शिल्पा को पहले दिए थे कि लाइव में आके बहुत तारीफ कर रहा मेरी.
Now we know she has been bribed.
Yeah. So, okay. The rapid fire. This is what I do on my platform as well, and I really like. So, I just thought to have, I'll tell Manali to everyone who's watching that to give one word for the following. So, everything related to it's jumbled up word. Literary agency.
Helpful but not necessary.
Okay. Publishers.
Too many.
That was a good one. Instagram Reels.
Entertaining.
Acha, you find some entertaining. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Some are. Okay. Writing.
Therapeutic.
Yeah. It's now, I think it's in our soul now.
Yeah. Can't live without it.
Yeah. So nice. Womanhood.
Not as complicated as it's made out to be.
Okay. Now 2, 3 more. Just I'm bringing out a random thing. Chocolates.
Every day.
Okay. So you have to react, to my sentence, what I'm saying. कि मैं writer हूँ, मैं सिर्फ अपने लिए लिखता हूँ, दूसरों के लिए नहीं.
Yeah, crap. Of course you want people to read. Why are you writing otherwise?
वो भी है. Copy क्यों रहे हो?
डायरी में लिखो फिर.
डायरी में लिखो और खुद पढ़ के आप रख लीजिए. That's मुझे नहीं पड़ी है कि बुक ने कितना सेल किया है कितना नहीं. If any writer is saying that I don't care about the monetary gains that the book has brought.
कॉपी बिकी नहीं है.
उतनी भी बिक गई बहुत है. Oh God. Yes. So, acha, react to the question. How do you find if someone is asking you this? How do you balance your work and life?
You wait out. You prioritize and schedule it. I mean.
No, if somebody is asking you these questions, actually, I find this question very invalid to any lady, any.
Yeah, it depends from person to person. ऐसा generalize तो हो ही नहीं सकता यार.
So if somebody asks me, I'm like, I become the Saif Ali Khan of Kal Ho Na Ho.
Yeah, I understand. But it is a very often and commonly asked question.
Yeah, it's very common. It's very common. Okay. So Manali, one last thing before, we kind of wind up. We had a very good discussion and I'm glad that we collaborated on the same. So, does this question irritates you? आपकी अगली book कब आ रही है?
It depends on who's asking me. If somebody who has not read any of my book asks me, I would like to counter question them. पहली वाली पढ़ी तुमने?
Wow, it's a very good counter question. हाँ, पहले वाली पढ़ी तुमने. Otherwise, you are okay with the questions that are, asked to you
If
as a
somebody
writer.
is eagerly awaiting the book, I totally understand because I, as a reader, also want the next book to come out if I like a particular author.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, yes. Same here, same here. Yeah. Only the question I find very much invalid is how do you find time or balance your work and personal life, professional and personal life? Very invalid question for me. I will do like this. Cross.
But ये बहुत लोग पूछते हैं यार और almost in all interviews you are asked this. It's like you cannot get rid of the question.
No, I have decided actually very politely. I'm going to put it out there. It's an invalid question, not applicable.
You could do that, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, Manali. So my plethora of questions are over for you. Now over to you. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Kaveri, for those wonderful questions. I had so much fun. They were really candid because you cannot plan such responses, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And before we end the session, I would like to read out a poem, one of your favorites that you mentioned. So I'm going to read out and then we end today's session.
Yes, yes, please.
In the meanwhile, if we have any questions from the audience, True said we Kaveri ka next meme ka idea. Okay. Shilpa is saying. Invalid question.
काजू रोल देगी बोला है.
And Hina ma'am is saying, True said, we do want to be published. Yes, of course. I mean,
yes, Nina, you're right.
Motivation for everyone.
अच्छा, you know what, Nina ji ka hai ki we have met more than kind of 2 to 3 times, and she's so enthusiastic. She would go in all the literary events and book launches. She would not say, I'm a writer and मैं क्यों जाऊँ event में, but she's so nice. She participates a lot. She is very active in for such events. So I think because I keep seeing her pictures. So I think that's one thing that we all also can do is kahin literary event hai, just go and listen to the author and attend such events. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A mix of online and offline events, and promotion and marketing. You have to keep showing your face. You have to keep engaging with the audience. That's very important.
Yes, please. We will maybe have the honor of you reading of your favorite passages.
Nina is saying listening to both was fun. Great conversation. Thank you, Nina, for joining us. Yes, so this poem is titled The Feeling is Mutual. She had a fulfilling personal life, taking care of the family and her home. Her days were filled with laughter and warmth, but a part of her always felt envious of the other one, who was breaking barriers at work. She had a job that she loved, meeting deadlines, keeping her team on toes. Her days were filled with challenges and adrenaline. But a part of her always felt envious of the other one, who was able to give all her time to the family. He had a 9 to 5 desk job that he enjoyed on most days. There was stable income that took care of all financial responsibilities. But a part of him always felt envious of the other one, who was not tied down with family burdens and was able to follow his passion. He traveled around the world, chasing stories and meeting people of different races, communities, and religions. He earned well and hardly worried about the lack of regular financial inflow. But a part of him always felt envious of the other one, who had a family that he looked forward to returning to after a hard day at work. That feeling of missing out and wondering what life could have been is mutual for everyone. Because no matter how hard we try, there's always going to be something we must forego of.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. And this shows that, दोनों की तरफ का जो पर्सपेक्टिव है वो सुनना बहुत जरूरी है. We just, unfortunately, even our Indian law is kind of actually little biased towards the woman. Yeah, so at least on our own personal front, we should always believe that there is always the other side of the story.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Nina and Shilpa. I'm so happy that you liked my poem. Uh,
Yeah.
on that note, I'm just going to remind everyone in the audience that Kaveri and I were talking about each other's books. Kaveri's book is titled Rana. It is a short story and it is available as an ebook on Amazon. And my book is titled A Piece of Mind for Peace of Your Mind. And it is a collection of poems which is available on Amazon Kindle as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And
Manali, 1 second. If you can just hold your device like this with the
yeah.
title cover and think,
Yes.
this
Definitely.
is the ritual on my platform.
Just a minute. I will hold out the cover.
Yeah, sure. But that's a big one, right?
Yes.
Big device.
And
is it colored?
This is an iPad.
Yeah, this is, oh, lovely. Okay.
Yes. So this is my book that we were talking about, and Kaveri is holding her book, Rana. Mine is a collection of 45 poems based on human
just hold it up.
emotions.
Just hold it for few seconds because we can have a lovely screenshot later.
Yes. So this is my book, and that was Kaveri's book. My book is a collection of poems. Her book is a short story. Please do check it out on Amazon. Both are very good books. We are receiving great reviews on both the books, so do give it a try. You can always go out, do your bit for supporting authors, please.
Yes, very important. And let us give that encouragement. Please give us that encouragement to write our next very soon.
Yes, that's very important because your reviews are the only motivation. It's not very rewarding. The royalties are not very rewarding.
So thank you, Naina. She's sending wishes to both of us. Thank you, Nina. Thank you so much.
And we also had Shilpa saying something. It was a wonderful session. Thank you, Shilpa, for being such an enthusiastic, participant throughout the session. For everyone who's listening, the video will be available on my Instagram and my YouTube channel. So anyone who has missed it and can go back and look at it again. Thank you. And
I've already shared it on my profile as well.
Wonderful. That's great. Okay. So thank you once again.
So thank you so much, Manali, for having me for this lovely collaboration. My first time experience, it was a learning experience. So I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope you also enjoyed as much as I did talking to you.
Yes. And also, advance Diwali wishes to everyone. See you around. Bye.
Bye. Jai Hind.
Jai
Good night,
Hind.
guys.
Bye.